Welcome, fight fans. This is the first episode of Supreme Striking in a long time, man. In a long time. I gotta get a haircut and everything. Let me get my camera right for you, man. Back at it like a craftmatic. You know how we do. Um, a lot of action in the fight world, and it's time that somebody who's actually been in the ring, actually sparred with some, you know what I'm saying, talks about this so that we could get some real insight to what's happening in the fight world. What we're going to start off with, let me share here for you. We're just going to start right off with what happened last night. We'll do short takes. Get familiar with the channel. Of course, I ran a fight promotion before all of that stuff, but let's get right into it, right? Let's get right into it. Demetrius Andrade versus Liam Williams took place last night, and what a barn burner of a fight it was. And this is what I want to start with. A lot of people discredit Demetrius Andrade. They say he's boring. They say he's not this. They say he's not that. Oh, he turned down one fight, as if fights don't fall through on a regular basis. And the fight was for 500,000. Since he's been champion, he's been making 1,700,000. But the fight fell through, whatever. His deal with Rock Nation didn't work so well. He had to decline a fight with Demetrius or with Jamal Charlo. And things happen. Since then, he's fought some underrated fighters. Some people just completely blow them off the radar. I'm going to call them underrated fighters because they're tough as nails and nobody else wanted to fight these guys, right? And we'll get to that later down the line. Anyway, he's 200 pounds at some point in time earlier this year. And Liam Williams is calling his name. I'm going to smash Andrade. I'm going to knock him out. It's going to be, he's a weirdo. This is Liam Williams kind of touting what he's going to do to Andrade. And in all fairness, Liam Williams is no joke. Liam Williams has 2 losses to the same guy, the gentleman Canelo Alvarez just knocked out, who had difficulty in doing so. There was a challenge there when they were fighting. And Liam was beating him on points the first time they fought. And the guy's name is also Liam, by the way. It's just I can't remember his last name. So Liam versus Liam, if you will. He was winning that fight, and they stopped the fight on cuts. Liam got cut late, I believe in the 9th round, if my memory recalls it right. And when they stopped the fight, Liam loses. The second time they fight, Liam is looking like a shell of himself. He's not the Liam that we're used to seeing, and he loses on points. Now, Liam, since then, rededicates himself to boxing. He just ran off a streak of, I think, 7 or 8 knockouts. 7 or 8 knockouts, right? And Demetrius hasn't fought in, I believe, a year since that time. It's been a while. So we got a rusty Demetrius Andrade coming against I just came out the ring, Liam Williams. And so we begin. Liam comes out. He's pressuring Andrade. That's the type of fighter he is. He's like a little tank. He'll walk into shots. He'll accept the punishment just to give one. We say take one to give one, right? That's what we generally say. And he will take them. And when he gives one to you, you better hope you can take it. You better hope you can take it because Liam hits hard. The boy hits hard. He's no slouch. He's got 3 losses. One of them came last night. You understand? The other 2 are from the same person, and he was winning that fight the first time they fought. And he had some problems in his life. But with that being said, Andrade hurts him in the first round. Beautiful uppercuts being thrown, touching the chin. lead uppercut, if you will. He was using it from Andrade is a southpaw, if you don't know. So he's throwing the uppercut with his right hand, catching Liam, throwing the left overhand hook, catching him on the button, wobbles Liam. He touches the ropes. It's an Andrade round. Second round, they come out. Liam is putting pressure on. He's not deterred. Andrade catches him with some uppercuts. There's a slight headbutt discrepancy. The ref breaks it up. They start the fight again. Picture perfect 1-2 right down the pipeline. The right cross drops, or the right straight, because he's a southpaw, drops Liam in his tracks. And he's looking like he may not make it. Right? So 3-0 already, you got a lead for Andrade. And the fight is going that way until about the 4th or 5th round. Liam lands a nice right hook. And Boo Boo, like I said, rusty. He's coming back rusty. And when he catches Boo Boo, Boo Boo doesn't do the dance, but he slinks next to the ropes and he backpedals. You can see he was, if you're wise, you can see he was hurt. And he clinches. First thing he does, he clinches like, whoa, that was a little heavy. Right? And you can arguably give Liam that round, okay? Andrade, another round. He hurts Liam. And then they trade hooks. And he hurts Liam, but Liam also hurts him. And so Andrade clinches and grabs both his arms. And the ref is trying to break them up. And Andrade is like, nope, I'm not letting go. I'm not right yet. Give me 2 seconds. And so Andrade did the right thing, held on, clinched. Referee breaks him up. After this, you can arguably give that round to either or. I'm going to give it to Liam because he didn't have many on the night. I would have scored about 9-3 or 8-4 for Andrade, right? And so as the fight goes on, you can see that Andrade's stamina is not its usual self. It's not its usual self, right? He's tired because you're dealing with a pressure fighter. When you're dealing with a pressure fighter, what they want to do is they want to get inside. If you're a smart pressure fighter, you use the jab as you come in. Liam does not. He'll just walk forward. Sometimes he'll jab. But he'll walk in. Once he gets inside, he's looking to throw as many shots as possible until you grab him, usually to your body and then to your head, right? Especially against taller fighters. That's what pressure fighters do. And that took its toll on Andrade's stamina. It did. It just had an effect on him all night long. So Andrade gains his composure, but you could tell he's spent because of how much Liam came forward. The thing is, about the 7th round, Andrade really starts to sit down on his shots. And once he starts to sit down on those shots, because of the size differential, is like 5'10" is Liam, 6'1" is Andrade, but it looked bigger. Looked like like Andrade's frame is a bit bigger. When he started to sit down on his shots, he began to hurt Liam. Late in the fight, Liam was trying to come forward, and Liam is such a tank. Like Andrade might hit him with a 6-piece and a biscuit. I told you, back up. And you know what would happen? Williams would take the shots, eat them, and then say, come on, come on. He starts screaming at him. So if you've ever been in a fight like that, you know some people, they got that hard head. They just don't know how to quit. They don't know when they're beaten. And that's what you had in Liam. And then towards the end, I want to say the 10th round, Williams hit him with a nice 6-punch combo. Really hurt Liam, and Liam shook it off and just said, is that all you've got? Is that all? You could see him screaming and you could hear it. It was like, yo, it was an amazing fight. At the end of the day, it went to the judges' scorecard. Demetrius Andrade retains his WBO Super Middleweight Championship. And the thing is this here, the fights to make after this, what we should expect. Canelo Alvarez fights Billy Joe Saunders coming up here. I want to say June, or is it May? May. It's May. It's a May date. So like shortly here. May 9th or something like that. That's in the works. Jermall Charlo went and booked a fight with, I don't even remember the name of the opponent. Okay, like that. So I don't even remember the name of the opponent. I'm going to say it in that fashion because Jermall Charlo, it's time. It's time, right? It's time to get off the pot or do what you do. You understand what I'm saying? Demetrius Andrade has been to their press conferences, both Charlo brothers, pressing them for action. When he was at 154, he asked for the younger brother. When he was at 160, he asked for the other brother. At any rate, when you lose to this gentleman in the amateurs, as people like Daniel Jacobs, Keith One Time, both Charlo brothers have, you know what you start to do? You start avoiding that fight. That's what you do. And so that's what we're seeing right now. Now, Charlo just went on our big brother Brian Custer's show. And I respect Charlo. Let me say this before I even go there. Charlo, you are definitely an exceptional fighter. One of the best. You and Andre, to me, I believe are the top of the class. But guess what, my brother? It's time. It's time. It's time to get it on. We can't keep walking around it, huh? You want your name associated with people like Marvin Hagler, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones, James Lights Out Tony, etc., etc., etc. You want your name associated with Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, Watson. You want your name associated with the greats. But y'all got to get off the pot or put something in it. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm talking to you because Andrade has been willing to make these fights. And I also have to talk to Andrade on behalf of you because you did turn down the $500,000, even though you was making $1,700,000. And Rock Nation had an issue at the time. So put this fight together. If neither one of you get the Triple G fight, Gennady Golovkin, who seems to be avoiding this matchup with either one of you, or Canelo, who seems to be avoiding this matchup with either one of you. Before we think about 168 anything, we've got unsettled business at 160 pounds. Let's get it together. Let's make it happen. Let's put the belts together. Let's get a champion that we can all herald and say, this is who ran the middleweight division. Can we do that, gentlemen? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now, moving on. Well, before we move on, since we're here at middleweight, let's talk about it, huh? Because we've also got Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo about to happen here shortly, right? Don't we? So that's coming up here. Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo. When that fight takes place, we've got a plethora of things that are happening. We've got Billy Joe saying a whole lot of stuff right now. Billy Joe is saying this. He's saying, well, first they wanted the regular judges, and now they want an American judge, a Mexican judge, and an England judge. And you can see the fix is in. So this is what I want to say. Because Billy Joe Saunders, you had the opportunity to fight Andrade and unify one of these belts. You didn't do it because you were caught cheating with steroids. Canelo, you had this opportunity and you got caught cheating with horse meat. You blamed it on steroids, gentlemen. So now you guys are looking into fix. You're talking about different judges and fix. Look. If you've cheated before, now you want to clean it up now? Let's not have any complaints, Billy Joe. You are an excellent fighter. You're bigger than Canelo. I expect you to put forth a great effort. Canelo, let's get it together. Let's not be trying to tip the judges in your favor. You know, Billy Joel accept the fact that Canelo is the A side, so there are going to be certain things that favor what he likes from the gloves on down. You know what this means? It means that I bring more money to the promotion than you do. And when that happens, certain things you have to accept, right? And you shouldn't be going in there looking for a judge's decision. No way. We want you to go in there looking for the knockout. For the knockout, right? Let's make that clear first and foremost. So that's what I want to clear up concerning that, right? Now, let's share again, huh? Let's move to another division before we get to everything that happened last night, huh? Let's talk about Manny Pacquiao versus Terrence Crawford's possibilities on the line. This is a very big possibility to happen right now. Why? And here's the thing. Manny, I believe, is no longer with Top Rank. So he got fed up with Bob Arum. He basically. He's towards the ends of his career. He should be decorated as much as Floyd is. You know, right below Floyd, because Floyd is the boss of this generation of boxing. We got to be honest. He whooped all the champions you wanted him to whoop. They couldn't figure out his formula. And now he's still making money doing exhibitions. This is the king of boxing right now. And he ain't even boxing nobody. He's getting ready to fight Jake Paul, who we'll talk about in a moment. So now Manny Pacquiao is pretty much at the end. He's at the end of the career. He just beat Keith one-time Thurman. And I wrote an article a while back. I said, what if Manny Pacquiao ran the gauntlet? What is the gauntlet? Sean Porter, Adrian Broner, Keith one-time Thurman, Terrence Crawford, and Errol Spence. If we take Pacquiao out of the mix, we got these four right here, all dangerous. Errol, Terrence, Porter, and one-time Thurman. He's already beat one-time Thurman and dropped him in the fight. He beat Broner and dropped him in the fight. There's only three left. There's only three of you left. You understand what I'm saying? And so because there's only three of you left, there's a problem. If Manny Pacquiao beats Terrence Crawford, who they are currently negotiating the contract, and he decides he doesn't want to fight Errol Spence, or he does go on to fight Errol Spence, either way. If he decides he doesn't want to fight Errol Spence, that means the old generation that came before you is better than the new generation that we're looking at now, which most people are saying anyway, because you guys are afraid to fight each other, number one. Terrence Crawford's been chasing Errol Spence, but Sean Porter's been chasing Terrence Crawford. But you understand what I'm saying? This is a ring around the rosy. And if Pacquiao whoops the second, considered the second best of you, which will be Terrence Crawford, or the first best of you, Terrence Crawford, guess what? He's run the gauntlet. The older generation is better than the new generation when it comes to throwing these hands. And he's 39 doing this, by the way. So you're not even getting a vintage Pacquiao. You just beat Keith one-time Thurman. And when we talk about Terrence Crawford versus Keith Thurman, that was a we don't know who's going to win it fight, right? When we talked about Keith one-time Thurman versus Errol Spence, that was a we don't know who's going to win it fight. When we saw Sean Porter versus Keith one-time Thurman, that was a well, Keith won the fight, but it looked like Sean really won the fight, but they gave it to Keith. So you understand these guys are so even killed. And that's not to leave out Danny Garcia, but Danny lost to Porter, he lost to Errol, he lost to one time. So now I gotta make Manny Pacquiao the guy, you know, when it comes to these battles. And those fights were close too, very close, absolutely close. They could have went either way. One time I thought edged him out clearly. The Porter fight is very close. I thought Porter edged him out too, but very close, very close. And so this is the fight that's on the table right now. If Manny beats Terrence Bud Crawford, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao can put his generation a level above the one that we're watching now. It's just the facts. Because he's 39. He's not, forget his prime. He's so out of his prime right now. And he's still putting hands on y'all. Y'all still can't figure him out. You can't figure out that the senator is putting hands on you. Like he making new laws. He putting laws on y'all. You understand what I'm saying? That's what Pacquiao's doing. And if he beats Crawford, that's what's happening. That's what they're going to say in the history books. And Crawford is the boogeyman because he chased around Errol Spence this whole time. Spence on here, oh man, it might be 80-40. It might be 80-10. Oh, it could be 90-10. What are you talking about, Errol? This is your rival. Tommy Hitman Hearn said, Sugar Ray, I'll knock you out. Sugar Ray said, oh, we could get it next week. And a fight happened. In fact, they wanted to fight so bad, they fought again when they were older in the light heavyweight division damn near. They was heavy at that time. After Sugar Ray put hands on Donnie Lalonde. You understand what I'm saying? That's the old generation. That's what we want to see. Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank. Nigel's not ready for me. Chris Eubank we're Brits and they fought. Not once, twice, 2 times. You understand? Just to get it out their system. You dig? That's the generations we come from. So when we watch some of you new boxers, we might get a little offended when you're running away from fights that are life-changing for your generation. That's what they want to see. You and Errol get it in. Not you and Errol talk about, oh man, and the money and the, well, see, here's the problem. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Because Hagler called out Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray knew that was his most dangerous fight besides Aaron Pryor. Besides Aaron Pryor. You understand what I'm saying? And so he took that fight with Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And it was controversial, but they gave Sugar the nod. Gave Sugar the nod. Now, let's see if Pacquiao's been saying, I ain't never turned the fight down with Terrence Crawford. I want to fight. I don't know why Bob said this. And he said this on several occasions. Several occasions. Recent fights. The fight can be made. So, and you know how Manny is. You know how Manny does. I'm happy to fight. Who will fight? Let's fight. That's Manny. So, if he beats Crawford, if they make this match and he beats Crawford, I want this younger generation to think about that. Because you've been calling out this older guy, but you won't fight each other. So you're looking real simple to us right now. You understand that? Crawford can't get a phone call from Spence. One time was trying to get away from all of them. As soon as he lost his belt, now he wanted to fight all of them. I'll fight you now. I bet you will. You ain't got nothing to offer me. You understand? So these things are important. It's very important that we start to understand the dynamic of this and what it means if Pacquiao beats Crawford and what it means if some of you don't fight each other. Because the writing is on the wall. Manny puts it on Crawford or something crazy. The writing is on the wall. This generation is not as good as the last, not just because they wouldn't fight each other, but because a 39-year-old Manny Pacquiao put hands on your best competitors while he was doing senator work, not full-blown training. That's what you would live with. Now, let's go to Jake Paul versus Ben Askern. Man, 2 things here, right? 2 things that you really need to know. I'm going to go full screen. Let's go full screen. Here's what you need to know. Jake Paul is a YouTuber learning how to box. He's got power, by the way. You got to respect Jake Paul's power. He's got power. He will, if he swings, he will lay you down. You understand? If you're there to be hit, he will lay you down. He has holes in his offense and his game, but he's nothing to sneeze at. He's got power there. It's power by Jake Paul, right? But here's the other thing. Ben Askern is a touted martial artist, right? Mixed martial artist. Ben is not known for stand-up. Ben has known to get in that cage and get right to the ground because he's a jiu-jitsu specialist. If you hit him, he will hug you. You understand? But with that being said, you're a mixed martial artist. I'm a former mixed martial artist. I used to train Rumble. I used to train Bang Ludwig. I used to train Nate Marquardt. I used to train Donald Cerrone. I used to train. I started some of these people, right? But I used to train Jose Arellano, 12-0 pro boxing, right? Started him. If I'm challenged by a YouTuber and we're the same weight and he's got maybe 2 fights, guess what? Nah, B. Nah, B. Nah. You're a mixed martial artist. You have to add the boxing. You've got to add the Muay Thai. If you ever consider yourself a contender for that title, this is not the days of Hoist Gracie jumping on somebody and they know no jiu-jitsu, right? Which means it can't be the days of a boxer, of a mixed martial artist who has no boxing at all. You hear the video game. Ben, you had absolutely no boxing. Your left hand was way over here somewhere in orbit, old style, which was figured out when people start throwing that right hook around it and when they start using takeaway punches to come over the top of your punch, over your jab, right? You never threw the jab much. Jake Paul buries Ben Askren in the first round. This is a YouTuber, and you are a full-blown mixed martial artist. There is no excuse for you, Ben Askren. And it's your boy Bump, right? It's your boy Bump. I'm disappointed, brother. So, like, Ben, I'm disappointed. That was upsetting to see. You understand? You know what that says when a YouTuber with one fight, he knocked out a basketball player, comes into the ring, boxing, I don't care what kind of ring it is. He comes in the ring, though you're not known for striking in mixed martial arts, he floors you in the first round. You get up, you appear okay, but the ref is like, not from what I've seen from you. That means he didn't even think you were competitive in the moment. So now guess who has to live with that? Other mixed martial artists, right? Frank Mir acquitted himself well against Steve Cunningham, right? Yesterday night. He wasn't going to win that boxing match, but he acquitted himself well and made it to a decision. You let the YouTuber, that's what a pro boxer, Steve Cunningham ain't playing no games. Frank Mir dealt with the business. You are a professional mixed martial artist. You had little to no boxing, and Ben, just say no. And you see Jake Paul here in tears on the screen because right after the fight, he asked for Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor. Here's the deal. If Conor loses his next match, which he may, because Dustin Poirier knocked him out just a few months ago. Lightning can strike twice in the same place in a short period of time. If Jake Paul gets the Conor McGregor fight, and we see Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor, and Conor McGregor, if you lose, because you just rode so high on the coattails of mixed martial arts, Just a few months ago. It's not even, well, I'll say a year ago. Just a year ago. You know the embarrassment of the mixed martial arts community, right? See, if you lose to Dustin Poirier, it's two things. If he loses the next fight in the UFC, we're going to say Conor is no longer the Conor we used to know, which is fine. We can live with that. Now, as much money as a Jake Paul promotion can make, if you go in with a Jake Paul, because he's crying, you see him in tears, I just want to fight Conor McGregor. That's how I look. If you lose to Jake Paul, shout out to Jake Paul. You're doing your thing, kid. Keep doing your thing. Keep making that money. Keep putting hands on these cats. If they're not ready for you, if they're not built for you, it is what it is. But Conor McGregor, if you go on to lose to Poirier, even if you beat him and decide to fight Jake Paul and you lose, because I'm telling you right now, Jake got power. Jake, if you see Jake swing, Jake try to knock your lights out every time. He swings. If he touches you and turns off and hits your off button, Conor, that's going to be bad for mixed martial arts. It's going to be bad for mixed martial arts. And with that said, that closing thought right there. Let me go back. Stop sharing. That closing thought. This is your boy, Adrian Bumpy Johnson. Adrian Bump Chill Jones, Jawbreaker Jones. You know who it's, man. This is Supreme Striking 101. You see it. There it goes right there. Striking 101. Tune in. We'll be doing it on a regular basis because some of these dudes talking about the fight game. I don't know what they talking. They ain't been in there before. But I'm going to talk to you. We're going to start to discuss more, get into different combat sports, and a pleasure. We will see you soon. Next time I'll have a haircut. We'll start to do displays and all that stuff. We'll get it, it'll look fly. But anyway, Demetrius Andrade is the man. If I see any boo-boo bashing, any Demetrius Andrade bashing, go tell your favorite fighter, sign the contract. Because if you don't sign the fight, you must be scared of something. Boo-boo shaking up the world. Y'all know what it is. Peace.